Hi, Stanley here. Hope you're doing good. And I finally managed to get a setup here where I can record the voice and I can record the machine output. And it's all hopefully going to be clearer than the first test that I did. And this is running with Maschine Plus in standalone. The audio cables are going out into a small Behringer mixer. This is the Xenix Q802 USB. What's happening with that is the USB signal is coming into the Mac, so it's effectively running as an audio interface. Additionally, I've got the SSL 2 Plus, and this is being used for the voice. So the Audio-Technica 4033 is going into the SSL 2 Plus. So I've got an aggregate device which is combining the USB devices, so both of these audio interfaces, that's coming through into Logic. So that's the reason why the laptop's on, and that's recording voice and the output of the machine. So it should be better than before, which is good because it was just simply recorded out of the phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just explain some of the things that I've been doing recently with Maschine. And this is a new thing for me. I had a Maschine Mark II, which obviously required the computer, and I had that for years. And the big difference, of course, is that everything is on the box here, so you don't need the laptop. But actually, it does function perfectly as a remote Maschine in the same way as the old one did. And here I am saying Maschine, and actually, I don't think we need to say that anymore, do we? Because originally it was called Maschine because it's a German word, Native Instruments being a German company. But now I've heard that even the Native Instruments guys from Germany are calling Maschine. So I can safely say Maschine now, which is great. So everything's in the box, and this has got quite a few of the expansions installed on it. You get a deal when you buy it at the moment. Well, when I got it, I'm not sure if that's still running, but there is 6, I think, expansions that you get for free, which is great. So you got those, and I've got all my historic ones as well. So there's a whole load of sounds on here, and it connects over Wi-Fi to download those. The process of setting up was just really simple, very easy. And what you get is a selection of instruments as well. So the instrument selection is a kind of curated selection of instruments that are designed for the Maschine Plus. Of course, when you do hook up with the computer, you get any of those VSTs that you have access to appearing in here too. But listen, this is very much focused on standalone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through exploring some of these kits, and what we'll do is you may be able to see the screen here. One of the things at the moment that I don't have is a camera top down. So this is a section which is the groups. The hierarchy of Maschine is that a group is a kit, okay, and that can be a kit with different categories. So you could have a kit which is a drum kit. You could have also a percussion kit. It could be a melodic kit. So these sit under the groups, and within a group you have a selection of sounds, and so these go on the pads. So the hierarchy, you can see, goes from groups to sounds, instruments, effects, and so on. So with groups, we've got kits, and this at the moment is set so that it's going to trigger a preset pattern that the guys have put together. Whoever designed the expansion has put together to demonstrate that kit. And I find that really interesting, actually. I would never use any of these beats, but for me, it's a great way to understand the sounds in that kit, so I get a sense of whether or not I'm interested in it. So we're going through here. I'm just pushing the next button, and it's playing that kit. So it could be from any of these, the libraries here. You can drill into the libraries. So if I go over here, I could select one of these products. So you can see now that the view is filtered based on this. And if I go through. So these are all in kind of like genres, really, like Caribbean current. I think it's some kind of... what's that style? I'm not up on all the latest styles, to be honest. It sounds a bit like kind of like soakery. a real mixture of kind of vibes on there. But anyway, that was on the list. I found it interesting. So I'm going to basically go to all of the kits. So I'm going to go to all products, which you can see here. So the typical process for me is when I start off with these, and this is when I'm not building my own kits, and quite often I do build my own kits, but one of the things that I found super inspiring about this is to use these as a starting point. And I generally tend to take, say, 3 or 4 sounds from one group, load a new one, and then tend to use 3 or 4 from another. So that gives me the diversity, the different perspectives from different styles of music that are sort of embedded in the DNA of these expansions. So look, I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna load that kit, and now this is available. I'm gonna put a fixed velocity on here. I've also got a situation where my monitoring is really quite quiet. This is a new thing that I need to discover. So hopefully I've got this set up that I wasn't increasing the volume on the recording. No, that's all good. So I'm hearing it louder now, which is great. And I've got 2 kicks there. I've got some clearly quite, relaxed, down-tempo hip-hop vibes. And I am, because I generally do house music, I'm going to do a house beat using these samples. This kick is very low, kind of fat bottom end, low frequency. This one's a bit more kind of punchy and higher in frequency. So really, I think for this particular idea, I'm probably going to focus on this. I'm going to lay down a kick, but then I'm going to complement it with this one every now and again. And what we tend to do is we want to play along to a click. So shift and tap here. So that's now doing the metronome. The other thing I want to think about is the tempo. So there is a tempo button. I can rotate and then choose. Going for 125. I've got it set up to quantize automatically, so it will tighten up my timing. Swing, I tend to add some, and I'm probably going to go for about 40. I might adjust that after. So let's just see what happens. I will probably go for a 2-bar pattern, and let's see. So I've pushed the record button again to take it out of record mode. It's just looping, and considering I've got a regular beat, I'm going to take the metronome off. So actually, I'm going to undo that. So I think a bit less in frequency. There we go. So that low frequency kick is now complementing the other. It's a bit loud, so I'm going to push the volume button, push the pad and rotate counterclockwise. So let's reduce the volume of that kick. And what I tend to do is just start vibing on stuff. As you can see, I'm just finding a sound and seeing what comes out. Okay. And what I really like is the status of the 2-bar loop here is indicated. So that really helps me understand where the elements are that I'm playing come into that 2-bar sequence that I created. So what else do I have? I'm not sure I'm going to head down the musical route, but I'm just going to show you with that chord, if you want to do something with it, push keyboard. So then you can actually play it chromatically. So I'm going to take it out of that. Actually, that's a nicer one. So you can see how quick and easy it is to get ideas up and running. I'm not sure that's the path that I want to go down with this anyway. So anyway, the idea here is getting, as I said, one group down. So that's going to be a foundation. I'm going to go to B group. I'm going to push browser and then pick something totally different from the expansions. I'm going to scoot down here. And in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the types and go to kits and come down to percussive kit. And there's a great selection of percussion here. Interesting. So I'm looking for something a bit different here, not the obvious kind of candidates like a conga or a bongo. Maybe djembe. No, actually there's some kind of tom drum hits in there I like the sound of. I'm going to load that. And okay. That's what I was hearing before. Let me just take a look at this. Seems to be quite a lot of effects running on here. And yeah, so there is a beat delay. And I'm going to just push shift and bypass that. That's good, yeah, because I felt the delay wasn't really working in the context of what I got so far. Let's just have a listen. Okay, it's working nicely. Maybe bring that one down. So once again, you know, two groups, a small selection of sounds from each group, going to C. And of course there are sounds there that I'm not using and maybe they're taking up resources, maybe they're stacked full of effects and so on. And really if I needed to, I'd probably need to go back and take some of those out. But for the moment, for speed, I'm just going to pick another kit. Let's take it off of the percussive and go for something melodic. Here we go. So what have we got? Okay, maybe something that's going to work. Let's see. So these are different Rhodes samples. They're quite long, and that's probably because of the fact that the envelope is set to play one shot, so to continue to the end. So I'm just going to take a look here. So these are AHD. I might want to change that to ADSR so that I've got the ability to determine the durations. Yeah, so let me just do this. Okay, let me just try something a moment. So this needs to come up. The other thing is the, okay, so this shape of the sound has got quite a fade in there. I'm looking at the envelope, the attack is 0, so it's not that. It's going to be the sample. So if we go to edit, let's change the start point. Oh, it's reverse. Okay, that's interesting. So let's take reverse off. And it's interesting because there's an electric piano at the front of the sound. Let's go past that. A little click on the front of the sound. So let's go to the attack and slow that. There we go. Bring the volume up. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, so let's go for something like that. So that's sounding good, but I think now I'm getting inspired. I might add something different. So I'm on a group here. If I push the shift and then the browser, I've got the choice of the effects, the specific effects here. So you can browse effects with presets, but I'm going straight in just to the actual effect here, which is the filter. So I'm going to load the filter. And so now I've got my filter cutoff frequency if I open this. In fact, so we can hear this, let's solo the group C. Okay, so that's nice. And maybe actually I will add also the delay. So we'll do beat delay. And let's just make some tweaks to that. Let's take the feedback down. Let's take the mix down. It's nice. Let's go to the filter. Did I just delete the filter? Okay, schoolboy error. What I'm going to do, I'll show you here, we can do this, right? So beat delay's there. If we go to browser again, and I'm going to, I know what I'm doing here. Let me go to the plus, that's why. Let's do the filter. I'm still a little bit rusty, truth be told, with the machine. There we go. And this filter here is after the delay. What I want to do is I want to put the filter before the delay. So hold down shift and then I can move it to the left. They've flipped over. And now with the filter. Okay, let's see how that sounds with the rest of it. Okay, so it's kind of like a bed in the background, but yeah, look, the whole point of this video was really just to look at a couple of things. Firstly, it was just to give you an intro to the setup in terms of how I'm recording things. Then it was to go into the concept of, using multiple groups to build up a track idea and using maybe even a selection of small sounds like I did here, not necessarily feeling you've got to use every sound. And my thinking behind that is that the expansions are great, but what I don't want to do is sound like everybody else with those expansions. So I'm cherry picking the sounds that I like from each of those, and they form a great piece of inspiration for me at the very beginning, and that can really kickstart my process of composition. So that was it for this session. I don't have tons of time these days to do videos, but that's what I can do for the moment. And, if you do have any questions related to this that I can help with, please put them down in the comments and I will see if I can get back to you. Okay, take care.